Hey everybody! Hi family, how are you all?
Hi.
So excited to have you, so excited to be here and so excited to host this amazing conversation with living legends. My name is Tori Cooper, my pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm the Director of Community Engagement for the Transgender Justice Initiative at the Human Rights Campaign. It is my honor to bring you this really, really important conversation tonight with some folks who are going to introduce themselves. I'm going to step back. I wore this fabulous top so you all could see it, get into it. But I'm going to step back because we really want the focus of the attention and all the conversation. So really, we want to have a really important conversation, dialogue, community conversation about ballroom. The ballroom effect, the pose effect, legendary, all of that is real. House and ballroom communities have influenced pop culture and life as we know it for decades without its fair due. So tonight we want to pay homage to folks who have lived the life, walked the walk, and talked the talk. So I would first like to introduce someone who is very, very special to me. She's a blonde tonight, and she's a new business owner, Mother Samaria Ebony. Please tell us a little bit about who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samaria Ebony. I am the Florida mother of the House of Ebony. I've been in ballroom about 11 years. I've been the mother for about the past 3 years. Like Tori said, I am a business owner. I have an organization, and I wasn't going to tell the news, but I might as well say it here. The McKinsey Project, which is a harm reduction program for Black and Brown transgender women who are facing homelessness and engaged in survival sex work, has just become a 501c3 just a few days ago. So I'm really excited about that, and I am here to speak about my past and the things that I have going on here in Florida in the ballroom.
Yay, thank you so very, very much. We're so happy to have you. What I'm doing is I'm trying to start my own watch party right now. So I encourage those of you who have access to Facebook or any of the Human Rights Campaign social media that you check us out, that you like and share, because likes do matter. I'm so glad Mother Shannon Balenciaga joined us as well. So if we could bring her onto the screen, that would be fantastic as well. All right. Live now. So what I would like to do is next introduce someone else who's very near and dear to my heart. Javon Martin, tell us who you are, what you do, and where you do it.
Oh, well, thank you, Tori. I appreciate you, my beautiful sister. So my name is Javon Martin, and I wear many hats in the community. I am the executive director and founder of Princess Janae Place in New York City, where we house the homeless population. I am also Mr. Trans New York USA, and I am also recently a designer of shoes. So for Pride, I designed some trans shoes, trans color shoes, and LGBTQ color shoes. And I just want you all to know that Pride is our time, right? It's every day, not just in June, in July. Every day, walk in your truth and be proud of who you are. And that's what my brand is about. It's called Strut Your Pride.
Thank you so much, Javon. And if I'm not mistaken, you gave away some shoes the other day, didn't you?
I sure did give away 2 pair of free shoes yesterday, just so that the community knows that not only do I design the shoes for just, to be a designer, but to give back, and those people are going to be brand ambassadors. So they can get their little modeling on, and I can push them in that field, if that's something that they want to do. When you have a business, you always have to give back to the community. You can't continue to take from the community and not give something back in return.
Thank you so much. So at the end of the show today, we're going to talk a little bit about your businesses. I just want to make sure that we're all introducing ourselves right now, but thank you so much for that, brother. Next up, I would like to introduce, I don't even know where to start with this lady. I knew her before she was legal. And she is equally as fabulous today as she was back then. My sister and mother to many of you, Mother Shamari Chanel.
Hello, everyone. I am the iconic founding mother of the House of Chanel International Atlanta chapter. I'm also Hall of Famer, a Southeast Region Hall of Famer, and a newly Lifetime Achievement Award. I've been in ballroom since 1997. Don't do the math. And I've been the mother to some of the most great, talented individuals in the ballroom scene. I think that right now in the trans community, it's the time for us to stand up. I think it's a time to be celebrated. I feel like this, to see where the trans whole trend is going, I think it's absolutely amazing. I feel absolutely blessed to be a pioneer of this community in the city of Atlanta and watch the ballroom scene grow from 1996 to 2020. Have been an active part of it. And I think it's amazing that you have given us this platform to talk about it. Thank you, Tori.
I love you.
I love you too. Love you.
Thank you for being here. Yes, yes, yes. So next, a sister that I haven't known too long, but my spirit feels like I've known her for many years. She is the living legend, the sex siren herself, Miss Saria Jackson Sinclair, all of that. Tell us who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Saria Jackson St. Clair. I am the South Gulf Coast mother of the House of St. Clair, legendary iconic house. And at present moment, I am the president of the LGBT Community Center here. I'm also a part of the Keeping the Ballroom Alive Crystal LaBeija project, in which we are building a ballroom alliance for our Gulf Coast region, from all the way from Texas, all the way across, all the way to Atlanta, to Georgia. So we're building that alliance. I'm excited to be here. I want to keep ballroom alive. I want to celebrate us in every aspect, every facet that we've been able to contribute to society, and not only contribute to society, but to contribute to our own, because we've highlighted our own when no one else saw us. So it's grateful to have that light shine upon us now and to be able to see my people on the silver screen. I think it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. And I think that you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. You make it look easy, I tell you. I would like to next introduce a man who's near and dear to my heart, someone who I affectionately call Pops, Mr. Antonio Loren. Tell us a bit about you, where you are, and what you do.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm from Chicago. I'm the founder of the House of Loren. I've been in the ball scene 20 years. You can do the math. I started out in ballroom maybe like in 2001. The only category I could walk was butch realness until lately. Other than that, I am also a part-time owner of a prelim for Continental. So that's just it.
Awesome. And we appreciate the many years of service that you have done and being the founder of the House of Loren and all that you're doing to so many people. Thank you for being here. And I would also like to say, so the 7 of us who have spoken so far are folks who live, who are of trans experience. And that is a wonderfully beautiful, colorful, diverse group of folks in ballroom. But next, I would like to introduce one of our cis sisters, one of my cisgender new sisters, someone I met pretty recently. And I am excited to know, because I know a bit about her history. I would love to introduce you all to Ms. Shannon Balenciaga, who represents an ally, but also part of our extended community. And we're so happy to have you here because we all need allies. Can't hear you. Come on off mute, darling.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here for a different, welcoming perspective on this lovely platform. I think that sometimes some of us we don't feel like we get to speak our truths, that we all have to be lumped in together. And it makes people shy away from that. And so I appreciate you guys for having me on so we can talk about this lovely art form. And I'm so happy to be on with you guys today, each and every one of you.
Awesome. And we're thankful to have you because you do offer us perspective that folks need to hear also. And while we have you off microphone, we would be remiss if we didn't take just 30 seconds to honor. Would you do the honor, Shannon? And we want to have a moment of silence.
Our dear, 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 dear sister, loved one in the House of Balenciaga and the ballroom, Jaharia Balenciaga, just recently lost her life. She did the ultimate selfless act that any human being can do, that she gained her wings. Taking in a family out of love, what she do each and every day to protect women, to protect transgenders, to protect gay men, to protect all from domestic violence, that she lost her life being one of those people. And we're gonna be here each and every day, the House of Balenciaga, and the ballroom community, period, and the world as a whole, to make sure that we uplift her, continue on her legacy. And we want to take a moment of silence in honor of her tonight. Thank you, Jaharia. We speak your name.
We speak your name.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So that was some level setting. And the moment of silence was for all the many, many folks who have lost their lives over the years, folks who we loved and admired from both near and far. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the conversation. I am going to go off camera, but I would love to turn over the reins of this conversation to two living legends, Saria Jackson Sinclair and Javon Martin, who are going to have some amazing conversation for you all, and I'll be back on a little later. Take it away, folks.
So Javon and I have the pleasure of not interviewing, but, deciphering the questions that we do have. And the questions are real simple. We've already answered one of them, which was like, who you are. If you want to elaborate, that would be amazing, that we can elaborate on exactly what we do in our houses and our prospective positions. Because I think that's important, not just a role, because the role usually comes with a lot of different responsibilities as a mother, as a father, as a member, even as a founder. So what is, either one of you guys and ladies can take the reins on, what is your niche about who you are? As a mother figure, what are your duties? Because everyone's duties can be differently. So what are your duties as a mother and as a founder, as a father? What are the duties?
Well, Saria, I'll go first. Well, I've been Mother Chanel. I'm the first mother of Atlanta, the House of Chanel International. I'm the founding mother. So that's 1997 to 2020. I'm still the first. Once you get that position founder, you can't have another position. There's nobody else. You can have other mothers, but you're the first one. So my position now, I think, has been an icon in the community and watching my kids grow up. My job now is to mentor them, actually feed them the history of ballroom, because ballroom has elevated quite a bit. So the higher it goes up, it loses its value in certain things that make the ballroom original, to say the least, or organic, to say. Mm-hmm. So I feel like my job is to inform them on things, how things work, on how the history of the house, where it comes from, because in order for you to know where you're going, you got to know where you come from. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of, in this scene, currently a lot of the children, they are so prone to go to YouTube and type in stuff and look, and that's not really finding the information. It's better to find information for someone who's walked the walk and talked the talk. We've expanded to New York and Chicago. So my job is to, when any of the new kids come in the house, to mentor them, tell them the truth about where we come from, answer questions. And also the kids that I notice, like certain kids, you know, with having a big house, you don't notice everybody, but certain kids that I notice certain things about, whether I know their name or not, if their last name is Chanel, it's my duty to tell them what they can do to improve. Not in a bad way, but in a motherly way, being nurturing. That's the whole thing about being a mother. I feel like this position doesn't come with a handbook. You know, it's just given to you. So you have to, whether you know how to mother, be a great parent or not, you have to learn fast, because a lot of these kids depend on you, not just for ballroom purposes. Also, you deal with kids that has mental issues. You deal with kids that has health issues, or they deal with depression, that kind of thing. So your job is multifaceted. So you have to compact it in one thing and actually take the time with each and every one, because every child is different. Every child needs something different.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Shinshay.
You're so welcome, baby.
Anyone else?
I like to go, Samaria.
Okay.
I'm the Florida mother of the iconic legendary House of Ebony. For me as a mother, I've been in the House of Ebony for about almost 11 years now, and I've been the mother for about 3. But before I became the mother, I felt like I was already the mother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the first Black trans mother of this chapter. Not only am I the first trans mother of this chapter, but I have been able to help and provide so many.
I'm sorry. It's okay, Samaria.
Take your time.
Take your time, baby.
I have been able to help.
It's okay, sis, let it out.
Oh.
Trust me.
It's okay. I understand. I get it. I get it.
Take a moment, because I just want to say that this is what ballroom is about right here.
Uh-huh.
The compassion that someone has for their house kids, for the house members, and can see the love that she has for her house, for these kids, and to help and to see these kids come into themselves and who they are. This is the nurturing part, right? This is where that comes in at, right? And if she was not like this, and I'm not saying all parents have to be, you know, this compassion, but just to watch her here, having to feel this, how many lives she's touched and watched and seen kids go through different paths.
Mm-hmm.
This is genuine. You know, we're more than taking it to the floor and hitting the floor.
Yes, exactly.
We help these kids outside of ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
We help these kids because some of them don't have families,
A lot
right?
of them.
And it's not kids in age, right? This is kids in the house. Some of these kids are probably older than you. Some of them are younger than you. Some of them are your same age, but they're in a family setting. And because you've been there to guide them, to hold them, to nurture them, just go ahead, Mama. Go ahead.
Can I say one thing? I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, Shannon.
We talk about the kids, but as parents, each and every person has poured into us.
That is true.
We don't talk about us often,
Hmm.
but every one of their spirit is within us. And that's why you cry, because you seeing stuff that people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know things that people don't know. You have to take it all in, and you have to pour those tears out, because you will scream at the love, the anger, the frustration, the injustice, all those things that we have to take on that nobody knows. You just have to let it flow out, because that's the love that's pouring out. Baby, I get it. We cry all the time.
Yes, Lord.
No, we know. And we enjoy doing it, because if we didn't, we wouldn't be here.
you know, Shannon, can I piggyback off you for a second?
Mhm.
One of the things about being a mother sometimes, I think, for me, let me just say the least, is when it comes, and you've witnessed it too, you've witnessed it as to bury our children.
Mhm.
I remember one of my first memories that I just took with my son, God rest his soul, Mario, rest in peace, Mario Chanel. I was there when they took him off of life support. I was with his mom, and just it was so surreal then to have his mother look at me and say, Shay, can you help me put the funeral together? There is no handbook for that. You know, my mother didn't teach me that. I just immediately, first of all, just like Mother Ebony, I just wept because I felt like I failed as a mother. You know what I mean? Then you have to take on the responsibility because a lot of families don't accept us, or they look at us and like we're the problem. We were the ones there to make them do whatever happened, or they blame us. To long story short, and we're the ones that have to take all of the stuff that comes with it. I feel like sometimes we never ever get the proper respect from the family. Sometimes, you know, which can be disheartening, but that's one of the things that as a parent that you're never ever prepared for, no matter what. And you love your kids. I mean, you love them like they're yours. It's an unbelievable feeling sometimes because you don't even know where it comes from. Like certain ones you just love, you know. And Shannon, we've had this conversation.
And others get jealous.
Oh God! Oh, they're spoiled brats, or they're mad because they feel like that's their favorite. And you know what? It's so funny when they say parents can have your favorite, but in a sense, it's not that you have your favorites. Certain kids bring out certain things in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Certain kids make you, certain kids can give you a hard time. You know, certain kids are hard-headed. You know, certain kids gonna lie. You know them like your kids. And the funny is you don't even know how it happened. Sometimes I trip out how did this happen this long that these people call you mama and you didn't naturally give birth to them. I think in that lifestyle, but I think in this lifestyle, it's a different kind of rebirth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. And if we could change the channel a little bit and think about not just being house mothers, house fathers, but what is it like, Mr. Warren, about being a founder? Like what does that take? Because most of the times we think most houses are founded off a spin-off of another house, so they usually take some of that integrity, some of that dignity,
yeah.
some of that structure from another house to a new house and form something new. But at the same token, from the House of Lorraine, was that something spin off from another home, or was that something that you just built from the ground up yourself?
I built that house up from the ground up.
Wow.
I was reached out to a lot of people when I entered the ball scene, and I was kind of scared. I'm gonna be honest. When I walked my first major ball, I was kind of scared because I had people to the left, people to the right, and then as I'm walking, you know, people waving a finger, and you trying to understand all the lingo, you know. And then when I walked my first ball, the people that I walked against was getting mad and they was cussing. I'm like, what the hell going on? And when they said tens, you know, to the side, I started walking to the back, and my sister, may she rest in peace, Jasmine Foray, she said, no, you stand right here. So as the rest walk, they like, oh, this some bullshit. I'm walking against a fucking man, you know, and I'm like, wait a minute. So when I won, I was happy. I tried to shake their hand. They like, you know, fanned me off, and I thought this was something friendly. A lot of different people from different houses was like, we would like to have you, we would give you life. I think, and somebody said, give me life. I said, you God? You know, I ain't understand all, because I had to learn all that. And as I looked and I studied, I was like, I want to do it my way. I think I want to be the first, / Bush stud trans man to have their own house. I want to have it whereas I don't look at people and take them once they get hot. Because sometimes you just need to reach out and let someone know, I welcome you without all the red tape, or if they got a degree, or have they been walking, or can they pay tables. I just want to let somebody know, you can come to me and be accepted. You know, in some houses, they like you, but they want to see you mature. Or if you start turning on the floor, they coming at you like pimps. like pimps come out the holes or whatever, you know. And I'm not like that. And then when you go to Pride and you celebrate, you're looking at Black, white, Asian. In my house, I have Native American, I have Chinese, I have Caucasian. When I look at people, I look at people. I don't look at their color. I don't look at if they can talk good. If I had somebody in a wheelchair that can give me hand performance and you can turn it, yes. You know, the thing about some houses, they don't like everybody in this forum, people have problems. I know kids that don't have a home. I know kids that have been in and out of jail. And they were like, you don't know how it feels. Yes, I do. I've been there. I said, I've been to jail. I know about the rooting, how you trying to make it to this ball, how you trying to get the over, you know, but I tell them at the end of the day, is ballroom gonna be here? Let's go back to school. Let's get a job. I've been there. So when they tell me you don't, yes, I have. I had to start back from having something to trying to be up there with everybody, losing my job, then trying to do this and end up in jail. But I came home, got my shit together, and I said, I'm gonna do it the right way. I have kids in jail and I still write to them. I still welcome them. You know, I don't take nobody and say, oh, you messed up. And I know some houses, when their kids go to jail, they forget about them. That's not cool. If you family, you stick with you through thick and thin.
That's so true. That is so true.
Yeah.
Can we give Mother Ebony a chance to briefly go ahead?
Okay, I think I'm ready now. So for me, you know, in ballroom, they say you have trophy mothers and you have mothers who actually put in the work. And for me, I would describe myself as both because I'm a trophy mother that bring in trophies, but I'm more so of a mother that really cares for the children. Mm-hmm. And all the time, like Antonio just said, ballroom is here. Outside of ballroom, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. How is your living? Do you have a job? Do you have income? What's going on in your personal life? So I'm the one that's always sitting at doctor's appointments with my children. I'm the ones making sure they get enrolled into school. I'm the ones that's sitting at the hair salon, making sure they get their hair done. If it's time for a ball, I would spend my last just to make sure that how I need them to look on their runway. Because at the end of the day, they are a representation of me. Mm-hmm. And all my kids that I bring into ballroom are kids that have never, ever been a part of ballroom. I don't do kids who've been in this house, who've been in that house. I like to bring fresh new talent that people never seen, where they don't know nothing about ballroom, because these are kids who are from the streets, who are struggling and dealing with different things that's going on in today's society. And for me, it's like, when I was, at 14, I came out as gay, and I didn't have no house or home to go to. I had to go do what I had to do to survive, to make it out here. So I tried to put my time and energy into these kids so they don't have to go through what I've been through. And they always like, well, Mom, why this? Don't question me, because I'm always going to give you a good answer. And they always come back and say, well, you know what, Mom, you did tell me. I should have listened. I should have heard what you said. And now it's to the point where now if I say, hey, this is what's going to be, that's what it is. They get the job done. So it's like, I've been able to see so many of my kids get into their own place, start their own business. It's just amazing to see how these kids are growing here in Florida. And not only that, like, I am a person that has majority of the people and the kids that are in ballroom now in Florida, they are in ballroom because of me. I brought them to ballroom. And I tell people all the time, just because you're not in my house, just because I brought you into a ballroom, that don't mean you have to come to my house. We have over 14 different houses here in Florida. So guess what? Just know that you may not be in my house, but I'm the one that brought you into a ballroom. I'm gonna always be there with you from the beginning to end. And that's just how I tell them, I'm not in my house. I see the talent, I see the potential, I see what you're going through. Use this as an outlet to make yourself, not think about what you got going on in your personal life. And when it comes down to the personal life, I'm still gonna be here. I'm gonna make sure if you need a house, I'm gonna get you into some housing. If you need care, I'm gonna link you to care. If you need whatever you need, trust and believe me, I'm gonna be there. I don't sleep. I get phone calls 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm there. I'm running. I'm in my car. I'm gone. I'm out of there. So I'm that mother that don't sleep.
Amen. Amen.
I love your
authenticity. I want to tell you, Mother Ebony, that what you said resonates with me, because I've had kids when I was Father Khan, and today they're in other houses, but they're still my kids. They still call me dad. And the respect that we have with one another, it's still there. Like I can tell you, Laomi, Omari, Remy, Nico, these kids started with me. And as they've grown into who they are today, I'm online and I'm telling them how proud I am of them. And they was like, yes, Dad, yes, Pops. You know, to see Laomi on TV, I was like, wow, just look at our community. But most of all, like, it's very important. Look at what Ballroom has done and contributed to the culture that we live in today.
Exactly.
Right? From designers, hairstylists, makeup artists. Majority of these, I want to say, TV celebrity stars and actors and models, our people that we know are doing their hair and makeup. Jason, look at Jason, Yancey. These people are touching the lives of people that I know I don't get to meet. But because of Ballroom, we get to meet Rihanna. We get to meet top models. So, like, for you, Shannon, look, Shannon's on TV.
No, they get to meet us.
Right?
Exactly.
I like to tell my kids,
There
they
you
get
go.
to meet us,
That part.
not the other way around. We're stars just like they're stars.
Absolutely.
And when you teach your kids that they are worth more than what the world tells them they are, you set them up for success and not failure.
Amen. Amen, Mother Shannon. Yes, yes. Thank you for that.
Off of Javon right quick. Maurice Ronaldo, he's a famous now Albanese dancer. I've seen him on the stage and it just brought me tears because this man has traveled to Okinawa, Japan. He has danced in front of President Obama, kings and queens. And I remember him coming from Indiana with his raggedy clothes, getting into effect to Vogue, you know, and now he's dancing on stage and everybody get to witness this, you know, this glorious talent. It brings you to tears because at one time you were like, he was just standing over here doing whatever, you know, then you look at all the talent and you just, I don't know, it just feel overwhelming sometimes.
It's amazing to see your kids blossom into fruition and to see the seeds that we have nurtured and that we have really poured into blossom into the fruit that they are. Mother Shannon, I do have a question for you specifically. What do folks need to know about Ballroom from your perspective, ma'am?
From my perspective, I always keep telling people this about Ballroom, especially from my standpoint, what I saw. I came into the first moment that I walked through the door, I saw a beautiful, glamorous art form. Like, oh my God, I had to be there. I had to be in this. I had to be a part of this. And of course it has changed over the years. And I try to, for myself, keep that element that I saw so that it can inspire somebody else. If it don't inspire but one person, at least I do my job. But I also like the world to know that Ballroom opens its door to everyone. When the world tries to shade most of the people in Ballroom, they don't shade anybody. Everybody can come in and participate. You got a home. It's like I'm gonna give you an example. Your great-grandparents always had a plate to offer somebody when they came through the door.
You better say it.
That's what Ballroom does. It feeds everybody. But it's your job to know when and how much to eat.
I love that. I love that, Shannon. I love that, Shannon. Thank you, Mother.
Amen. Amen. That was great. Thank you for that. So, Mother Chanel.
Yes.
What does family mean to you?
family is the greatest of importance to me. I think it is everything, especially the House of Chanel was built on family. Just like Mother Ebony stated earlier, the majority of my kids in the beginning came from nowhere. The ballroom iconic face herself, Barbie Idol. I met her when she was 14 years old. She knew nothing about a ball. She thought I was asking her to spend the night at her house, asking her to spend the night at my house. No, you know, they knew nothing. And we built everything on family because at the end of the day, a lot of us come from broken homes. A lot of kids were ostracized by their family too because of who they are or they didn't understand. So for me, family is everything. I feel like a house cannot survive without a family bond because everybody that's coming to the house is missing something or in need of something. And a lot of times, majority of the time, it is family. And I feel like that's our job because personally, I don't feel like, prime example, if a kid comes out at 14 and says, Mom, I'm gay. She's a single mother. She might have other kids. She working her ass off trying to take care of the family. She don't have time to figure out what's going on with him. So most likely, the mother says, get out, I don't have time for it. Things have changed, but that was the narrative majority of the time at the beginning of the ballroom, you know? So our job is to reel them in and give them that. And like Shannon said, if you pour that love into them, they can go anywhere, whether it's TV, whether it's acting, whether it's being an athlete, whether it's being a politician, whether it's being a makeup artist, whether it's being something. So family is the biggest of importance for me. It is the foundation. I live by it because life is tough. So you need somebody to pull you in and give you all the love.
So I love the way that you say family is everything because when I think about my journey into ballroom, it was the early 90s. I was in college. I was in Atlanta.
I remember.
And Stuart was Father Ebony. And Dee Dee was my mom. Mama Dee Dee and Auntie Paige and Auntie Brooke. I hung out with the realest of girls from Atlanta. And I wasn't as advanced. I was already on hormone replacement therapy, but I wasn't as advanced. So they looked at me as more like Bush Queen up in drags, and I walked labels for quite some time. And then I learned how to perform, learn ballroom performance and voguing, but they reeled me in. They dressed me up. They gave me an opportunity. They saw something that I didn't even see in myself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it wasn't because I had a background of entertainment and I was this pageant girl. It was that they saw something and they wanted to invest into it. And Dee took me into her home. I was homeless for quite some time at college. Auntie Paige made sure I was dressed to the nines. Those things I'll never forget. That how those ladies and those individuals poured into my livelihood, into my survival, that I did not have to be on pumps. I did not have, even back then, because, that could have been an easy road for me. So I thank God for that. And I thank God for those people, for, seeing something in me, as Shannon has stated that, when you go into ballroom, you see an artistry, and everyone, long as you find your place and you stay in your place respectively, you will go far. Samiria and Antonia, I want to ask you both this question. How does someone get involved in a house, or how do they make it into the ballroom community? Because I just said, like, people saw me and thought they should invest into me. And that's how I got started in ballroom. From your perspective, how did you choose your children? And how did you think they should get involved into ballroom?
I choose my children based on what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, I look at what they go through with their struggles, because a lot of my children who are in my house, they have dealt with some of the same and fought some of the same demons that I had to fight for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a lot of because I was a case manager here, and a lot of the children was coming in to get services or whatever case may be. So I would do a lot of conversations and talking to them and see, what's going on in their personal life. So I have that soft heart that I have to help this person, and that's just how I am. So it's like every time I came across someone who had some type of issue or something that was going on, I'm like, you know what? You got something in you that reminds myself of me and you. So that's how I end up grabbing these kids into my chapter. Now, when it comes to other children who are just my kids and they're not in my house, I have these conversations with them, and I'm like, you know what? They're like, I want to be in ballroom, and I want to do this, I want to do that, and I'm like, I understand. Not everybody wants to be a Ebony. Not everybody wants to be a Milan. Not everybody wants to be a Mugler. So I tell a lot of my children, before you jump in a house, do your research on the house. Even though I'm giving you the open doors and say, hey, I want you to become an Ebony, it's because I see what you got going on, and I see you fit on how the Florida chapter move. So it's like, okay, I can bring you over here. Then when I have those other children, I'm like, you know what? I see you in ballroom. You give me the mind of a Mugler. You dress like them. Or you give me Balenciaga. You like to wear your fur coats and your glasses. You like to be very lavish. So you give me Balenciaga. So it's like, I because I've been in ballroom for so long, I have been able to see how different houses move and how they dress, how they carry themselves. So I tell people all the time, like, I think you will fit that house. I think you'll fit this house. I think you'll fit that house. So for me, I go on how they carry themselves. Even though they over there, I'm still doing my motherly duty, saying, hey, because they still call me to this day, oh, you know what? I got a ball coming up. They tell me to bring it like this. What you think? I'm on FaceTime. I could be doing something like that. I think you should do this, do that, do this. So it's like, no matter where they go, I'm still a part of what they got going on.
Gotcha.
So
Understood.
For me, that's how it works for me.
Antonio, Father Warren.
I kind of go shopping. And when I say I go shopping, I work near a theater and a college of art in Chicago. So I kind of, when we go practice there, I see a lot of students come in and they kind of curious. And I tell them, what we're about and everything. And then a lot of them likes to come to the balls. And when they come to the ball, I let them look and everything. And, they were like, well, how I get in it? I was like, well, it's not no membership, where you got to pay a fee or whatever, I kind of give them the ins and outs, but I also tell them it's also being committed, consistency. You just can't jump in and jump out. And I let them know, do you have some time to give? Because you're going to school, you're working, or whatever, and then I also go shopping at the pageants. I have my daughter, Brianna LaShawn Davis in North Carolina. And I let my kids know that ballroom is part of pageantry too. You have a lot of pageant girls, like Sasha Valentino from Chicago, and a lot of girls who have graced the stage. So I kind of, I shop around because, like Mother Ebony was saying, the pageant scene is a part of ballroom too. Who was that said you got to know where you come from? I think that was Mother Chanel.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget, pageant girls was part of the ballroom at one time, like Raquel Lord, and I let them know the original categories wasn't voguing. It was F to M, M to F, and then runway, and then you had sex sirens. So I do a lot of, going around just shopping, and I look at people, I look at their demeanor, I look at how they carry themselves, and then I'm like Mother Ebony. A lot of them want fast fame. And I tell them, you can jump into the House of Mizza, but if you ain't bringing it, you will get chopped. I said, this is the honest truth. You have to first have courage, because people can smell fear when you walk into the judges panel. They can see if you're confident. If you're confident and you get chopped, they be like, but that bitch brought it. Excuse my French. They be doing all like this. But if you don't have the confidence, I don't care what house you in, you won't win. You have to be that inspiration. And I tell also, when you go into a house, make sure y'all compromise. You know what I'm saying? Let you get what you want and they get too. Don't go in there thinking like, oh, they're going to take care of me, because it don't always work out that way. So I kind of give them the hard truth. I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't say, well, you go in this house, you're going to live, but all like this. No, you go in this house, they going to make you be about it, So I just try to keep it real, and I don't shun nobody. If they go to another house, I don't shun them. I still clap for them.
I'm glad you said that, Antonio. So real, right? When you go back, like Mother Chanel said, you have to know your history, right? So it was feathers and beads. It was glamour. It was runway, right? It was Mother can't tell, father can't tell, right? The realness, right? You had Pepper LaBeija sashaying through. You had Designer's Delight, right? Where the designers would make all these elaborate clothing, right? And walk down the runway and show it off. And this is where ballroom came from, creativity, right? And butch queens in drag, right? And for those that don't know what a butch queen in drag is, a gay man, you can't tell that they're a gay man. They're in drag, right? And they're passable in drag. There would be lip sync. Lip sync was a hot category. There was also who won? That was Paris Dupree.
Voguing.
Would kill the lip sync. She was very creative. These categories is what made ballroom evolve into what it is today, right? Even voguing was very much lines, old way, new way, pop, dip, and spin. And now look what it's stretching. But look where you are now. You've got Laomi and all of these other ones doing 360 spins. More than 360 spins now, right? They're defying,
gravity.
Right? And it's an art form. And just like you said, you saw the kids come from nothing and they're dancing over in Japan and they're dancing background for all of these singers. To see Deshawn on The Wiz on TV.
Yeah.
The Wiz with Queen Latifah. It was like, look where we've come. Look where ballroom has come. So I want to ask Shannon, since Shannon is on Legendary. I want to ask you, like, how did you get involved with Legendary? And if someone wanted to like walk a ball, or like how would they go about doing that?
So I became a part of Legendary. They actually was scouting houses back in 2019, and we all of us had to audition. They took us on a year-long audition. The first season came about, and through that whole struggle of trying to get the first season off the bat, we know with ballroom, some people leave houses for whatever reason. The team fell apart. But I've always believed that God makes no mistakes.
Yes,
that in due time, the right time, it happens. So we didn't get chosen for the first season. Second season flow around. I didn't want to do it because this is my motto. If you didn't want me the first time and you don't be honest with me, why? You're going to pay me double on the back end. And people don't know those things until you ask and you have a conversation. So I didn't want no part of it because we could be a very prideful community. Barbara could be very prideful.
Yeah.
But what took me out of my pride, my kids told HBO and Legendary, they will not participate in Legendary as a house if mother don't participate with us. And for my kids to say that, I said I had to put my burden down and run with my house and my kids. And that's what made me do it.
Amen.
And I'm glad that I did it because I think it taught me, and I'll tell everybody to do this in their ballroom career. Take a moment to walk in somebody else's shoes. I'm not a performance girl. I don't know nothing about voguing. I am not getting down on the floor. I'm not breaking my back. I'm not doing any of those things. I got a little too much accoutrements for that. But I got out there and I learned from these kids. I thought as a mother, I'm coming out there to teach them. but they taught me.
Mm.
And I'm so thankful and grateful for the opportunity to be around my kids. It ain't even had nothing to do with the show. The best part was to be around them. It made me see my younger self in them, being free, fearless again. Those moments as we get older and you accumulate things in life, and you at that freedom, it's like, oh my God, I miss it. Where have you been?
Yeah.
And that was the beautiful part about it. And to answer the second part of that question, how do you get a part of ballroom? It's easier today than it was yesteryears.
You better say it.
And so way easier. You can sit back on YouTube and see, like some other panelists have said, see what house you might gravitate more to just by watching YouTube clips. But ultimately, it's the person that wants to join job to bring something to ballroom. And you might not be your best today, but you'll be great tomorrow. So you always have to continue on and press on throughout whatever happens. You just keep going. And you're
So if somebody wanted to join Balenciaga, they see you at a function, they say, Shannon, I want to join your house. Is that how it works?
No. You need to walk that ball. You need to, we still do try to do old school style. You walk the ball. If you snatch your grand prize, even if you don't win, if you make that crowd know it and you choose us, you might get chosen back. I think that's around the board. That's a lot of houses will agree to that.
Yeah.
But also, if you're not at that level yet, it's always open houses and meetings. You come and you showcase your ability to want to join our organization. And we also there to groom and to help. And we see things. Some people stay, some people don't. I like loyalty. So I always let the people know when you come here, loyalty over everything. You don't have to stay here, but it's ways that you can do things. It's just like a job. You don't burn bridges.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you for that, because there's a lot of people that are not from ballroom that are watching, and they might want to participate and they don't know how to go about doing it. So you heard it here first. Don't approach the mothers and fathers. Learn your craft, hit that floor, make a statement, make it known.
Harold.
Say it again.
What you say, Shannon?
Approach
I'm
Harold.
going to jump in now because right.
Oh my God,
right.
Harold.
I'm going to jump in because we have to start closing out, but this conversation is amazing. So I want to ask two questions, one to Saria and one to Javon, and then we're going to do a little closing and make sure that people know how to get in touch with each of you. So Javon, one of the questions from Tatiana Braxton in the chat, one of the chats is, yeah, I see somebody clapping for her. What are some of the challenges being a parent in ballroom? We heard some of them later, but Javon, you specifically answer that, Father Khan.
So I'm glad she asked that. And so I had a conversation with Shannon earlier, and as a parent, you take your kids out of town to go to functions, which are balls, we call them functions. And sometimes you run into altercations. People don't see it for you, which means that they're not gonna let you in, stuff like that. And this is how deep family runs between Shannon and myself. We attended a function. I was gonna judge for another judge because they couldn't judge at the time. And because we were no longer a part of this house that we were attending their ball, I was not allowed in. Shannon at the time was still a part of that house. Shannon came to the door with some other members of that house, and she was like, oh no, Javon is coming in. And if Javon's not coming in, we're leaving. So that's loyalty. That's a part of that loyalty that she was talking about. Shannon and I go way back. And we used to sit in the hotel and wait for the categories so that we can show up, because it's the element of surprise, especially when you walk face. And we've come to a lot of obstacles. I traveled out of town with my kids to North Carolina. I bought a 15-passenger van. We went to the Con Ball in North Carolina. And when we left the function, the back window was busted open in the van. So, you know, I had to make it safe for my kids. We had to get the glass up and everything. We had to, you know, put the window back with some tape and plastic and stuff. And the hotel that we were in, there was a fire. Someone had set a fire to the hotel. Like,
Wow, remember that.
Yeah, our kids have been through a lot. We have been through a lot. So it's my job as a parent to make sure that my kids were always safe, that all the members were safe, and even members of other houses. Because when that hotel caught a fire, it was everyone I was making sure was okay, knocking on everybody's door, not just my kids. You know, the whole ballroom scene is one big family. Although we might not be in the same house, let something jump off. We're all gonna come together and make sure we all get out of there safely. And that's what it's about. And I'm old school. I'm gonna be 51 in 2 weeks. So I'm a part of that old culture. And I just want to say something before I get off here, that this is a new era of ballroom, but let's bring back our original ballroom, and let's start having some categories for the butch, okay? Because I understand that we evolve, and butch realness was the category that started in the mainstream ballroom, and it has now, I want to say, disappeared, or has not been out there as much, although we have trans man realness. But I feel like we should bring some of the butch categories back, because we're leaving out an important part of ballroom history.
That's good. Thank you, Javon. That's a good takeaway. So Saria, first let me make sure that we all give a shout out to Benny and Marcus, who are very, very active in the chat. We love them, and there are a lot of people asking questions, but the two of them are real lit, and we appreciate that. But one of the questions I have for you, Sex Siren, is, and it's from Marcus, what does it take to walk Sex Siren? Do you have to be a certain weight, or or look a certain way, or be a certain type?
Ultimately, it's about your confidence. And that's how they talk mainly about confidence. When you hit the floor, you have to be confident in yourself that you feel sexy in your own skin. And then next comes the elements of surprise of, you know, your body, your hair. It's about a complete look. What sex sells, as they say. So now you have to sell what you consider to be sexy. And these other judges have to approve. So it's not just about, first and foremost, it's about your confidence that you feel sexy. Then when you look at the category is going to tell you how to bring it. And of course, there's several different, there's modded, there's cat boy, cat girl, which is for the more slender, more toned, then you have, big, sexy, nice, voluptuous, sexy, but sexy comes in all different shapes and forms, just as body does. So make sure you hone in and zone in to where you fit in. And your own confidence mindset, you find out what model's body is, and see if that's where your structure is, your body structure is. Find out if you're more voluptuous, then how to tone some things up, or wear a corset to tone, to make things do what they need to do on that floor.
Thank you. That's good to see. And we have about 6 minutes left, but I have one more question, and I specifically want to ask this question, and then everybody's going to provide some way for folks to contact them, because you have a lot of fans out here. But LaToya Tench, who recently was elevated to icon status, shout out LaToya Tench in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay, so Latoya asks, how do all of you leaders feel when your personal children leave your house? How do you handle all that? How about give me something real quick, Antonio, and we're gonna go into our closing.
I say God bless, and I'm always going to be here for you.
That's the best answer right there. Because they're your children when they were with you, and they're going to be your children when they leave, especially if you instilled in them the qualities and everything, all that love. Your kids will remember that. And just like what I was saying earlier, Laomi, Omari, and all of these kids that I poured love into, they still respect me as their dad to this day. Although I'm not their house father, I'm still a father figure in their life.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you again. So let me get one last word. So as we close out, my internet literally just went down and came right back up. That was quick. It did a good old 180, 360 something, a spin and a dip and bounce back up. So as we close out, Shay, I love you. I want you to give us some parting words for today and make sure, how do people take out your pens, do a screenshot, whatever you need to, folks. How do folks get in touch with you and get some of that great skincare?
Well, first, I didn't say this early, but I am the first trans woman and trans woman of color to own a skincare bar in the state of Georgia. Diamond Faces. You can contact me on Instagram, diamond_faces with a Z, or you can reach out to me on Facebook as Shamari Renee Cherry. I think that this is a tremendous big step forward. I love this whole put together from different aspects, different visual points of how people think about the ballroom. I think that the scene has elevated to word beyond words. They're unbelievable. Like you said, different people are doing different things, but I feel like the ballroom scene is now a conversation at a table. It comes on TV. It's not such an underground thing. So I feel like this is an opportunity for us to show the world, like Shannon said, that we are the stars. They come to meet us. They're intrigued about us. They want to be, and I don't want to call them cultural vultures, but I consider it flattering when they come to the ballroom scene and in awe when it's been here for over 40 years. So to be a part of a legacy like that, I think it's mind blowing. I feel like everyone that wants to find somewhere to fit, try the ballroom scene out. Because for me, it has given me the confidence. It showed me a way of life that I never thought would even be possible as a trans woman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Diamond_faces on IG. Check her. So that was fantastic. Next, I'm going to go to Antonio. Give us some parting words and tell folks how they can get in touch with you.
Well, my Facebook is Antonio Loren. Yeah, you can inbox me or you can email me at lauren_u@yahoo.com. That's basically it.
Lauren_u at yahoo.com.
Lauren R_u at yahoo.com.
I should know it. I've used it enough in the last couple of days. Lauren R_u at yahoo.com.
Right.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mother Ebony, how can folks get in touch with you and give us some parting words?
My parting words for me will be, if you have someone in your corner that truly loves you and accept you for who you are unconditionally, make sure you stay tight to that person. For me, I have a website, themckinseyproject.org, my Instagram, The McKinsey Project, my email, info@themckinseyproject.org. So all you gotta do is type in The McKinsey Project and you will always.
The McKinsey Project everywhere. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for your transparency. You save lives, when you do that. Thank you so much. Mother Shannon, the most conservative one on our panel tonight. Please tell us give us a parting word, and how can folks who want to get in touch with you?
I want to say that everybody has been hurt. Learn to let the hurt go. Everybody is not out here to hurt you. Allow somebody to love you and be kind and love yourself. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Sometimes you got to forgive yourself along with somebody else because nobody is perfect. And I just want to say everybody here is legendary.
I was hoping you would say that. How perfect. How perfect. Thank you so much. And when can folks see you next on TV?
They can find me on Instagram at I am the Countess, and my website is shannonbalenciaga.com.
Thank you. And what Mother Shannon has shown us tonight is everyone doesn't identify as trans who is part of this wonderful ballroom family and wonderful community. So wherever you are, get in where you fit in. Thank you so much for being here. Javon, give us some parting words and tell folks how they can get in touch with you.
Well, I just want to say that for those that don't know, I will always be here. And I tell that to my kids, and I tell that to the community, that I always answer my phone because you never know what someone is going through. I answer an email, and just keep your head up, learn your craft, just be the best you that you can be, push yourself to that next level. And I'm here to assist you and to push you on and share all of your greatness that you have. And you can get in touch with me at javonmartin.com, or you can just email me, javon@javonmartin.com.
Awesome. I tell people the same thing. Mine is Ms. Tori Cooper at yahoo.com. Make the money easy. Make it easy for the money to find you, honey. Okay? Am I right? All right. So last but certainly not least, girl, I get chills. Please leave us with some parting words and make sure that folks know how to get in touch with you.
Parting words. Believe in yourself and understand that healing starts from the inside out. As you forgive yourself, as you're healing, you heal from the inside out. And I'm just now learning that. I've just had multiple surgeries and I'm still healing from the inside outward. I still see the surgical marks, but I'm now able to raise my hands. Just recently, I could raise my hands were like right down here. And now I'm able to raise my hand almost above my head. But learn, give yourself time to evolve. Nothing happens overnight. Give yourself time as you're perfecting your craft, as you're perfecting who you are, finding out who you are, identifying different things, putting definitions to new things, because you're always going to be learning. Make sure that you heal from the inside out. And you can find me and contact me at Saria_Jackson@hotmail.com, or you can check out the website, LGBT Community Center of New Orleans.org. And that's LGBTCC, the full word, New Orleans.org, because I am based in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so we're going to come to a close now, but I just want to leave a few parting words. So the Human Rights Campaign is not exactly the author of Ballroom, but we thought this conversation was important to have tonight. And we're so honored to be able to bring a bunch of living legends to you tonight. I want to make sure that our panelists know that we appreciate you, we love you, and we see you, and we support you. And tonight you had an opportunity to show off in front of an audience that wouldn't be familiar with Ballroom had it not been for you. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank each and every one of our viewers. Thank the folks who were so lively in chat. We look forward to having another Trans Talks for you next month and every month going forward. And we're always excited about the work that we're doing here at HRC and the Trans Justice Initiative. Thank you all so very much. Good night and live legendary.